Kritika from Grade 7 Cyprus, and today is our assembly on International Women's Day, and I'd like to speak a few words about it. Today is the day we gather to celebrate all the women who have reached new heights. The women who have evolved from kitchen maids to designers, housewives to astronauts. All women portray this line, the sky is never the limit. Women empowerment has evolved from a small idea to a strong movement. Women have followed their hearts and chased their dreams, and yes, they have hit the bullseye. Today we stand here to prove that women can change this world, even if it's just a small ambition. And to all the women out here, listen to that tiny voice inside your head, and you never know, it could turn into an enormous revolution. Here's wishing all women a very happy Women's Day, and remember, never let your limitations stop you. There's always a way out. Thank you. Now I'd like to call up Ms. Poonam Vaidya, who works as an editor for Meghshala.
Hi guys. First of all, can you all make some noise for me? Great. So now I know who's out there. I can get a sense of the crowd. So you guys might be a little confused. First you started with the coronavirus, then Women's Day, and now I'm going to talk about disability mostly. So it's let's say, a lot of stuff happening today. So I want to start out with a word that I don't like. And some of you might be surprised by what the word is. So the word is inspiration. So a lot of people tell me, Poonam, you're an inspiration. You inspire us. And a lot of you might be thinking that I'm here, I'm with my cane, so I might be here to inspire you, to give you an inspirational speech. So that's not the case, and let me tell you why. When we think of someone with a disability, we automatically think of them as someone who has lower expectations, who isn't equal to us. And I want to tell you, I've been blind for 9 years. And I would say my disability has made me into a very different human being, into a person who I have become just because of my disability, but it's not all bad. So disability is not really such a big problem, such a big barrier. And what happens when people are called inspirational, who have disabilities, it becomes a very snap judgment. You know, you see someone, they're blind, they're walking around like you and me, and they're doing stuff, they're going to work, so you think they're inspirational. So that's one thing, and there is a debate, we can talk about that, but that's just my point of view. And maybe when school is over and you guys go home, you can think about it, that someone with a disability, when they're told they're inspirational, you're telling them that you didn't expect them to do such a thing, and they did it. So that's one word I want to get out of the way. But inspiration as such is not a bad thing. You can be inspired by people who have climbed mountains, or people who have made some cool inventions. So as such, it's not a bad word, but when it comes to people who are disabled, maybe I would like you guys to think about it, whether you would call them inspirational or not. Moving on, since I have come here for Women's Day, I just want to also bring out the term inspirational women. So it is half the population. Women are half the population. And when you say the word inspirational women, um, yes, I am inspired by some women who have crossed some problems and they have become some, great astronauts or great entrepreneurs. So that is true. And I guess as a woman and as a person with disabilities, maybe I'd like you to hear my life story. So I became blind 9 years ago, and before that, I was a regular school-going kid, just like you guys. I became blind when I was 21. So till then, I had a regular education. I used to have the same problems as you guys, I guess, and just being someone who's become blind later in life, I can say that it's just something that I realize now when I think about disability awareness. When you guys study people who are blind or people who have other disabilities, for example, think about Louis Braille, think about Helen Keller. You study about people with disabilities who are like 100, 200 years old, who were who were famous when, maybe even when slavery was legal. So it's very removed, it makes them like very alien to you. But how many of you actually know people who have a disability, who you see every day and who you're friends with? And it's possible that you do. You may be having friends who are disabled, and that's really great. But a lot of people, they don't. And that's what I want to bring to you guys today. Just disability awareness. How many of you know the laws that are out there for disabilities? How many of you know when World Disability Day is? 3rd of December. These are the things that I feel are required for you to just open your mind up, open yourself up to learning about people with disabilities, not just as, how sad, or why did this have to happen to them? Think about it as almost a way they can learn. And I have learned, as I said, I've learned so much from blindness. I've learned how to use a phone, I've learned how to use a computer, I've learned how to travel, I've learned how to use my other senses more keenly. So I guess one thing you can say is that we actually learn from our problems. You all might have your own personal problems. Some might be very big problems, some may be very small problems. But what happens is when you learn from these problems is when you actually grow as a human being, where you can actually say, oh, okay, I've gone through this and I'm a stronger person now. Another word I also want to bring up right now is differently abled. So it's a word that I, again, like inspiration, I do not like this word. And the reason is differently abled, if you guys haven't heard this term, it's a term that's used for people who are disabled or people with disabilities. And this term doesn't make sense to me. It's a word that people feel, when people feel bad for you, they use different words. So it's like that, because everyone is differently abled, right? Like someone can sing, someone can dance, someone can do speeches better. So everyone has different abilities, and that's why the word differently able is not exactly the right word. Okay, since I hear the bell going, I'm just going to sum up and just give you guys like one last message. Okay, so think about it. When you think of people, they're not just one thing, they're many things. So I might be blind, I might be a woman, and but I'm so much more. Maybe I really love dogs, I hate cats, I like this television program, I like a certain music, I like a certain food. So people are just not one thing. People are very complicated, people are very diverse. And just, I guess, the only message I would say is where I am today, I'm only because I took opportunities that were given to me. And I think if that's something I can leave you with, I'll be very happy. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Mrs. Poonam, for sharing with us your wonderful story. We hope this empowers all the other women in the crowd to chase their dreams and do what they really want to do. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the women in the crowd?
On behalf of the After Step Cast Club, we'd like to present Ms. Poonam with a small token of appreciation.